Okay, today we're going to do a beautiful, beautiful story. It's actually a poem, but it's been written as a story, and it's called The Conference of the Birds. And on the front cover, as you can see, there's a very special bird. And on its beak, it says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now, what's really important about this bird, some people call it the hudhud bird, because it makes that sound, hudhud, hudhud. And some people call it the hoopoe bird. If you went to Palestine, it actually lives in Palestine. So we can actually look it up and see what the hoopoe bird really looks like, and how it eats and how it walks. But let's go find out what this conference of the birds is about. Now, would you know what a conference is? Yeah, it's when people get together, that's right, and have a meeting. So this is a meeting about the birds. Let's find out what their meeting is about. You'll find some of the pictures are absolutely beautiful. Late one moonless night, in a far corner of the world, they gathered a large flock of birds. They gathered in sorrow, since they had been, for so very, very long, deprived of a king. No king to keep the peace. No king to share the wisdom. A hush came over the crowd when a bird with black-tipped feathers on her head and a sacred prayer on her beak stepped forward. Now remember, we told you that was the hoopoe bird. You can see the beak, and you can see the plume on the head. All right, a plume on the head. It's a very beautiful bird. So you'll have to go and find her on your, maybe your computer. My feathered friends, the hoopoe said, do not despair. I know how you feel alone. But rise and cheer. We have a king. I've seen his golden throne. He waits for you, my feathered friends. Our king, Simor the wise. With him you'll find a love that's true, a love that never dies. And though the quest is long and hard, you'll never be the same. Come, let's go find him. There is no better aim. The birds flapped their wings and were joyful. Please, please, they begged, please, oh honorable hoopoe, take us to our king. Now 1,000 of the birds went off. 1,000 of them started off on this very long journey. It was going to be from one end of the world to the other. So let's find out what happens to them on this journey. They want to go and find a king. Okay? And the hoopoe is the leader. So as you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful pictures. Just as the birds were about to leave, the duck hesitated. I care not for long trips. I'm quite happy in my pond. Perhaps I'll go another night. But don't you know that tomorrow may never come your way, said the hoopoe? And is your life in the small pond as merry as you say? So do not let this laziness destroy this golden chance. Release its hold upon you now and go to your king. Advance. So the duck was just being lazy. Sometimes we have people like that who don't want to do something because they're feeling lazy. They'd rather sit or sleep, and they don't want to do anything. But let's see what happens next. The duck started and stared at the reflection of clouds in the waters of the pond. Even the clouds seemed to move. What if the hoopoe is right, he thought. A chance like this? A chance to meet a loving, majestic king? I have to go. I must go. I must go now. So he's very excited. He's ready to take off now. So all the birds, ducks included, set off upon their journey. After some time, the parrot, weighed down with heavy jewelry, slowed her pace. She soon stopped altogether. "I cannot fly anymore. I'm far too tired," she panted. Now she was wearing all this jewelry. Just think about it. A parrot wearing all this jewelry and trying to fly. Let's see what she looked like with all her jewelry on her. Oh my goodness, look at this. All this jewelry? No wonder she's tired. Wonder what the hoopoe is going to tell her now. "Dearest friend, you'll fly like the wind, with strength and ease and more. Just put aside those chains of gold and let your spirit soar. Soar unto the king, the crown jewel, and then you'll truly see that nothing is as beautiful as his grand majesty. So do not let all of this rich attachments destroy this golden chance. Release their hold upon you now, and to your king advance, advance." The parrot looked to the path ahead. "Is our king truly as beautiful as you say?" "Yes," the hoopoe nodded. "Yes." The parrot's eyes sparkled like never before. She ripped off her heavy jewels and gems and threw them on the ground. "Then there is no time to waste. Here I come, my king, here I come." And she fluttered off like a love-struck fledgling. The flock arrived at a tall and ancient forest. Off in the near distance, a storm was brewing. As the sky grew dark, the tiny finch trembled with a mighty fear. "Sorry, master, but I cannot go any further. I'll never make it through the thunder and the lightning." Now she was a very tiny little bird. All right. The owl, who stared relentlessly at the poor little finch, let out a cruel snicker. The hoopoe stepped forward. "No, do not laugh. Do not condemn when others fail or fall. There's a weakness to be found hidden inside us all." "Brother Finch," said the owl, "I'm so sorry." "Fear not, fear not." The hoopoe smiled and wrapped her wing around the finch. "Deep in the darkness of the storm, heaven will see you through. We all have strength we need, including little you. So do not let your many doubts destroy this golden chance. Release their hold upon you now, and to your king advance, advance." Now here's a beautiful picture where you can see the hoopoe is trying so hard to protect the little finch. Okay? So protective. It's like we have a big brother and a little brother, and the big brother will protect the little brother. Or a big friend can protect a little friend. And so the hoopoe is very, very wise and always very encouraging. Now here they are all in a forest. See what happens in this forest. It had been many days since the flock first began their journey. They had endured countless and hundreds of miles of strange and unknown valleys, survived the heat of the scorching sun in the desert, and now perched upon a large tree at the edge of a shore. The birds rested. Stretched out before their eyes was a seemingly endless ocean, and somewhere in the vast ocean was an island, a little island. Atop the island's one and only mountain presided King Simor, the king of all the kings. "How much further must we go?" complained the partridge. The hoopoe answered, "Those of us who have learned to endure with hopeful, bright smiles will have strength to handle now 1,000 more miles. They know with every hardship greater is the reward. Focus your mind upon this truth, and you shall see your Lord. So do not let this impatience destroy this golden chance. Release its hold upon you now, and to your King advance. The partridge closed his eyes. Simor, Simor, he said, repeating the king's name over and over. When he opened his eyes, he saw ahead not the journey's length, but the journey's end. With the thought of the king ever present, the partridge flew onward. So he's the first one to go. I wonder if he's going to make it to the king. He's very hopeful. The skies were bright, and the water below sparkled like liquid turquoise. The birds were getting closer to the holy island. Some thought they could see, some thought they could feel it. Others just waited. They didn't know what to expect. Something was going to happen, but they didn't know what. And then, far off in the horizon, they caught their first glimpse. Just then, the hawk shot forward, disappearing into a thick band of mist. And he got lost. The mist grew heavier and heavier, and it soon clouded over the sky in every direction. The worried hawk didn't know what to do. He could no longer see the island of the king. Am I going the right way, he thought. Confused, he flew faster and faster and faster. He became more desperate. Then he stopped, panicking. He stopped struggling. He let go. He hovered in the middle of the air. The hawk turned to the heaven and wept. Forgive me, I've made a terrible mistake. Without you, I am lost. He prepared himself for certain death. And then out of the mist, the hoopoe emerged. We all must learn to lose ourselves, to be what we must be. You've passed the great and final test and learned humility. You've cast away your foolish pride, which is the king's behest. And so, my dear pure-hearted friends, let us conclude our quest. At this, the clouds vanished, and the sun lit up the lake. The birds could no longer see their own reflections in the water. All was dazzling light. In the moment of silence, when no thought of you or me or this or that passed before their mind, the birds found themselves in the loving embrace of God, the one true King. In the brilliance of the light, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.